3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. My name is Mac.
And I'm Ree.
And this is the Me and Ree Review Show. We are the two that review for you.
Yes, we are.
We are back.
We are back. It's nice to be back.
Yes. This is season 6 of $1 Million Listing New York. It's actually quite interesting how we started watching this show. How many years ago was it, Ree?
Oh, gosh. 5 or 6?
If you're a fan of the show, it's on the Bravo network. It's called $1 Million Listing New York. It follows 3 real estate agents, Ryan, Fredrik, and now Steve Gold. It used to be a guy named Luis. Luis decided to quit the show and move to Paris and become unemployed.
We're not sure what he's doing.
By the way, do you like that? Did you think that was a good move by Luis to move to France like that?
It wouldn't have been for me, but hey.
So you would not have dropped everything and gone to just live life and...
I don't think so, but I don't know. I mean, he's young and doesn't have any connections to anybody, and I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, that's a good time to do it. And I'm sure he had banked a lot of money. He had been on the show 6 years, so I'm sure he had banked a lot of money.
What if it were you?
I don't think I would have given up because it's so rare that you have that opportunity to be a part of a threesome to do real estate on television. I mean, I don't know that I would have given up that because that was such an odd thing to get. He went to New York when he was 25, and he fell into this. It's just kind of, I don't know that I would want to give that up. That's it. That's all.
The other side seems exciting to me too. To just pick up, move to Paris, and that be it. But anyway, I missed him on the season finale of the show. If you're not a fan of the show, it's on the Bravo network. You need to go catch up and watch it. It's episode 1. They air Thursday nights, 9/8 Central. But we do have a new cast member, Steve Gold. And let's watch this video and introduce Steve.
Okay.
I'm Steve Gold. I've been doing real estate for 10 years now, and it's the absolute best thing that's ever happened to me.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Dana. The thank you, the smile that you get from your client, it's a high that you can't get any other way. What's going on? How you doing? I work at Town. I started my career at Brown Harris Stevens. I then went to Douglas Elliman. Hi. What's going on, buddy? Fredrik always came to me and, was like, why don't you work on my team? The answer was always no. I have my business. My business is good. What's the point? Love you, but not that much. I kick. Last year, I sold well over $100 million in real estate. I want to be the best at what I do. I always have. I've always been a competitor my whole life.
Nice, strong.
So I don't like to be beat by anyone.
Wow, tough guy.
I guess he's been in it 10 years. He's did $100 million last year. I guess he's doing pretty well for himself.
So he turned Fredrik down. Fredrik wanted him to go to work for him. Would you have gone to work for Fredrik?
I don't know. It depends on what I was doing at the time, how many years I had invested. Because maybe he said he was always real competitive. So maybe Steve was saying, I can be Fredrik. I don't have to work for Fredrik, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know when he asked him to be part of his team, but...
Let's talk about the show.
Anyway.
Do you think he was like a good addition?
I do. It's a different angle. Because Luis was more like them, suits, gym, stress relief, being out at 6 o'clock in the morning, networking till 10 at night or whatever. But this guy seems more, he's got a different style, which is kind of interesting to bring it in. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
What about waiting to get married? He's old. He's 30.
Is he 30?
He's got to be. He's got a dog, lives by himself. Do you have to get married in an environment like that? He actually said it's kind of tough to find love in the city.
It would be hard to me, it is hard when you're working that much, and you do with real estate. You work all the time. It's hard to have time to split it up between other things. And that's what Luis was finding out too. I think that's partly why he left.
I'm reading a book where it says, can you compromise? You want to build a large business. You want to be very successful. You've got to be dedicated to that. However, is there a compromise with personal life? Saying yes to other people.
Well, Ryan had it for a long time. Remember Ryan? Remember when the hurricane, what was it, Sandy hit up there and they showed it on TV? He was walking through the streets. He said, I have worked on so hard on building my business. I have no friends and I have no family here. And remember, he was by himself, and he didn't like that. So
I don't think I would like that either.
Well, it was a wake-up call. He kind of saw, I don't want to do this the rest of my life and not have anybody with me or anybody to make my life more complete.
And you see what he did. He went and he got team members, and he scaled the business.
Yeah. So I think when you isolate yourself, it makes it worse. But then, of course, Fredrik's got, Derek, who has his own career and has his own stuff. So he's not like following, Fredrik around and waiting on Fredrik to come home and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of nice when you've both got careers. And Emilia is an attorney. Yeah. So I don't know if she's still working. I think she got a real estate license. So.
Every year when I turn this show back on, I cannot believe the amount that they sell in 12 months.
I know.
I mean, what is it? Ryan was doing $2 million per day.
That's what it looked like. He said, I can't remember.
$2 million per day.
Yeah. And then Fredrik said he had done $1 billion last year.
With 10 people.
And had $1 billion under contract, which doesn't mean they're all going to go through.
Unbelievable.
But, yeah. Isn't that wild?
Unbelievable.
Fredrik's got like 10 people working for him.
Fredrik won't take listings under $7 million. Did you hear him talking to his driver?
Well,
Or he was on the phone.
That's what I was going to mention to you. The bigger the figures that they do per year, now they're getting more off individual, complexes and buildings and stuff like that. Used to, they were, remember when we went back and looked at one of the first seasons and they were doing like a $625,000 house, one of them.
Oh, yeah.
So they have, increased the volume of what they're doing, but they're doing it smarter to me.
Right.
And huge complexes instead of individual homes,
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the prices have gone up, what they sell.
Yeah.
So that adds up faster. I see. I mean, that's kind of the take I have on it.
Yeah. I think the balance is good. I think Fredrik's doing a good thing with the spiritual side, by the way.
Yeah, that's neat. He said he had started going to church.
So Steve had a bar mitzvah. Does that mean he's a Jewish guy?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. He's Jewish.
Very interesting. I wonder if he enjoys doing the show.
I would think he did. He looked like he did. He looked like he was kind of his own person. He didn't really try to compete with the others.
He did.
Different,
I'd agree with that.
Do you feel like, though, that the casual look, and he is very casual. He's not even, he had on a wrinkled jacket one time when he was talking to these people, long hair. Do you feel like that makes him, if you saw him come in your apartment and you had a $12 million apartment you're wanting to sell, and you see Fredrik come in behind him, dressed in a suit or whatever, Ryan, does that have any kind of bearing on you as to the credibility of what he's telling you?
I think what happens by wearing looking at like Steve does, the casual look, mm-hmm. I think what happens is you leave the door open for people to make assumptions.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You leave the door open for them to say, goodness, is this guy like...
Does he really know what he's doing?
Is it the real deal? Did I trust him 100%?
Yeah.
Why does he dress like this if he's one of the best in the city?
Yeah.
And other people may like it, and they may say, oh, this dude's a rock star.
Yeah.
But you do leave it up, Fredrik, you look at him, you say, oh, wow, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he knows
he
what he's
looks
doing.
like the best.
Yeah.
At least he looks that way.
Yeah.
You see Steve, you might start telling yourself stories that aren't true. Mm-hmm. Steve may be just as successful, however, they see that and they start making assumptions. So I think, I don't know, just depends on the type of person you want to be. He's downtown. He sells real estate downtown. I don't know if maybe that's a little different environment. I would think it would actually be less casual
I would
downtown.
think so, too.
So I don't know. He seems like he's doing well, though. $100 million on his own is pretty good.
But when he was talking to, I can't remember who it was, he had a wrinkled jacket on. His hair looked like he'd just gotten out of bed. He really did not look... I mean, there is a look to that. I understand that, but it should be ironed. It should be clean. And he looked dirty to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I just don't know that I would trust this kid that got out of bed. That's kind of what he looks like.
Well, it's exactly what he looks like. And they showed the video, too, of him, doing business as soon as he got... Now, I don't know if the red vest, if his reputation is that way. Mm-hmm. People know Steve Gold. Oh, Steve Gold. He's the one that, dresses like... casual, he used to be a model. He's cool. Mm-hmm. Where's the cool things? He might be getting more attention from being different than looking like everybody else.
That's true.
So I don't know. It depends on
because
how it's
Luis
working.
was competing with Ryan and Fredrik.
Sure.
This may be a different clientele that he picks up.
Could be
being this way.
Could
You're
be.
right.
He could be getting a whole lot of attention from it.
He could.
I don't know.
He could. But obviously he was getting attention because Fredrik had offered him a job on his team at one time.
Yeah.
We don't know when, if it was at the beginning of his career or lately.
Yeah.
So he evidently was being noticed,
Yeah.
for doing well. Yeah. So there's something about it that's doing well.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the dynamic between the three guys, though. It's pretty neat.
It is. They're all different.
Yeah.
They're all different.
This is big time business.
Oh my gosh, they've gotten to the point where it's it's really big.
It's unbelievable. Now let's talk about Ryan for a second. He got this is interesting to me. The 100 properties. Mm-hmm. He's working with a what, real estate attorney?
I believe it was an attorney. Yeah.
And this guy bought 100 homes back in 2008 in the Brooklyn area. Mm-hmm. He's given every single listing to Ryan. Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Yeah, isn't that unreal?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Didn't he say he had that one home that was that old home, and he said if you can sell that, you get the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he sold that one to a guy that just walked in and offered him full price.
Yeah,
and,
that was
interesting.
That was really cool. I thought that was a good little deal, where the developer comes in and just says, "Oh, I like it. Mm-hmm. What's the price? $3 million. Just pays $3 million."
Yeah, he didn't even quibble about it. Nothing. And I think Ryan was as dumbfounded by it as we were.
Man.
They were like, "Wow, are you kidding me?"
Wow.
And that's the one that had that foot bath.
Yep.
It was so weird.
Yep.
So weird.
Yep.
But it had a lot of quirky little characteristics to it.
Ryan seems like his selling style is a little different than everybody else's. Mm-hmm. Seems like to me he is more authentic.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know. He's less flighty. He's just, it is what it is.
Huh.
Have you ever noticed that?
Well, I guess a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, he's still got his...
What do you think?
I still think he bends to get the listing to whatever he needs to do. I don't think he's very matter of fact, and no, I think he may be a little more like Fredrik can demand it because Fredrik's been in the top stuff for a long time. He can demand it, so I think Ryan's getting to that point, but not quite there. I don't know.
I think Fredrik still rules the house on all these people, though. I'm gonna tell you, I think he has perfected the real estate business in New York, is the way I feel about Fredrik.
I think he has too. I think you're right. He's studied it, and he handled it well.
I just feel like with his personality, his story, being international, and his look, I think he has really mastered it. And I think Ryan's a close second. Mm-hmm. Ryan is putting together a conglomerate of a company, Nest Seekers.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And he has got good people that work for him. I watch him on social media. He's working out like a madman. He's buying cars. I mean, it is another world
Is he
up there.
really?
Oh, yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Buying more cars, huh?
Yeah. And so, you know, I can't tell. He claims to be the number one agent now. Mm-hmm. So he might be, he might have surpassed Fredrik.
Is Emilia working? Do you know?
I don't know about Emilia.
Yeah.
What do you think about living with her sister?
That's
got to be.
Yeah, that was kind of strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I don't know. If it were me, well, maybe I could get by with it. I don't know.
Maybe for a short period of time.
Maybe a short period of time.
I mean, they just got married and stuff, but anyway, I mean, maybe that girl's headed towards something specific. I wonder if she's wanting to do real estate.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because Emilia got her real estate license, which she is a lawyer, so that would take care of a lot of their paperwork. She could do a lot of that.
I wonder what happened to Rosita.
Yeah, I wonder. Renita.
Renita.
I wonder what. Well, she was with Louise.
Yeah.
Wasn't she? Yeah. I
wonder what she's doing. I was hoping they were going to bring her on and we could kind of watch her sales career grow.
Yeah, I was too. It'd be kind of interesting, but anyway, were you impressed with the Steve Gold thing when he shows up and the nephew and the son are there and he's talking about the real estate?
Oh yeah, so
guy's English.
I found that really interesting. Yeah, the guy had an English accent. Of course, the guy's so rich that he has his kids handle it while he's doing something else, so he never sees the owner.
Right.
They
that was interesting.
I don't know. They were annoying to me.
It was weird.
I feel like they thought they knew it all.
Yeah.
And I don't think they knew anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I kind of felt like they didn't understand, the comps are what going to sell it. That's just it. It gets down to the comps.
I just didn't like their smart remarks towards Steve. It undermined Steve. It's like, "Oh, Steve, you need to do an open house. You're not doing enough.
Oh, yeah.
We need to go international with this."
Yeah.
And Steve's like, "You don't. I know all these things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And they kind of acted like they knew it all, and I didn't like that.
Did they finally list that thing for 12.5? Do you remember if it was that high?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they ended up listing it for that. I think they did.
They settled on
but-
12.5. They didn't
Yeah,
list
and he
it.
knew that was too high.
Yeah.
And didn't he have some people come in and offer something?
They wanted $14 million for the property. The kids did. They said, "We want $14 million." And he looked at him and said,
Oh, that's
y'all
right.
are
That's
crazy.
right. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
"That's double what the market. That was like 3,500 a square foot or something. The neighborhood's 2,000." And they said, "Well, it's one of a kind." And he said, You can't generate a comp on it."
Right.
And
right.
he looked at him and said, "The bank, if you brought a bank in here to appraise the property, they're going to give you a comp.
That's exactly right.
Comps are the only thing that matters."
That's exactly right.
And
That's
so
exactly
he said, "We got to go 11 million." And they didn't want to do that. So they came back at 12.5 million, which is what they listed it at, I believe. I can't remember what it sold for.
Well, he showed it some.
I don't think it didn't sell. That's what happened.
No, and the kitchen wasn't done. They hadn't
Right.
finished the kitchen up and all that. But then what was so funny was the next day, I mean, or I don't know, a week later, whenever, he meets with them. And the guy's speaking English.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have an accent. And he looks at him and he says, "Didn't you have an English accent?" And he said, "Yeah, I do that sometimes." And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, dude's a weirdo.
And they never did even explain that.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird how, I don't know, it looked like he wanted some time on TV, didn't he?
It's like a whack job, man.
He was kind of odd.
I didn't like
odd.
him. They can get off my TV.
It was weird. Anyway, and then Fredrik selling that place with a common terrace.
All right, so let's talk about this.
love
This is
that.
interesting to me.
That was fun.
His selling style is unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
He will exaggerate. If
yeah.
it's good news, it's very good news.
Yeah.
If it's bad news, it's okay
trying to
news.
cover it up.
Yeah. so he will go in there. Okay, there's this common terrace, and obviously not good. Tells the seller bad thing, bad negative. Gets buyers in there. They're doing private showings, and he pulls the shades down over the common terrace. He wasn't going to tell them about it. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Well, Fredrik, why are the shades down?" And he goes, "Oh, well, we could pull them up." So he only does it if he has to, which
Yeah.
I think is a great strategy.
Yeah, it is.
Just
It
don't
is.
mention it.
That's right.
So he brings the shades up, and he takes them out there, and he says, "Now, let me tell you, this is a very large, huge common terrace. And she says, "Common?" And he says, "Yes. But the seller told me she never sees anybody. And if there is, you put the shades down." But what I find interesting is that he exaggerates it very large. You're never going to, it's so big, you're not going to see anybody. So you plant it in their mind, and you let them decide whether or not it's a big deal. But
That's true.
don't you think that's the best way to handle that situation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't emphasize the negative. You just really don't. And if it comes up, then you say, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And then you deal with it.
Now, I like that better than when they asked Steve Gold, "How do you handle negatives?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you flirt with them."
Yeah, well, that was a joke, but
I don't
change
know.
the subject is what he says. But I wouldn't change the subject. I would hit it like he did.
Yeah.
Like Fredrik did.
Yeah.
And tell the truth.
I just noticed he nips things in the bud before the buyers have the chance to say anything. There was all the sun coming into the property when they were going up the stairs. It was right in their face. It was blinding. And he said, "Oh, you get so much sunlight in here. You can get a tan when you walk up the staircase." Okay?
Yeah.
Immediately, people say it's not a problem
Right.
just because he says that
Yeah.
before they
Oh,
even
yeah.
have the chance to mention it.
Oh, yeah, you've got to plant things in people's head. You've got to make them think they thought about it, but you put it there.
And I will see him do that, and I won't see the other guys do it. Frederick's really good at that.
He is. He's very good at that. But that's sales. That's psychology.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, he's the master.
He is. He's good. He studied it. But I thought it was cute when he brought in that lady to look at the place, and she was old and had those black glasses on, real big
Sylvia.
glasses. She was so cute.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Are you Sylvia? Sylvia's Cakes?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah." It was the cutest thing.
Yeah, she's a famous cake maker in New York.
Yeah, she was so cute.
Yeah.
And that was wild that she was in there looking at a place like that.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's a different area up there, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
The way, businesses work and like her doing the cakes and all that stuff. And it was interesting.
Yeah.
One other thing that was really stood out to me was when Howard Lorber, head of Douglas Elliman,
Oh, yeah.
showed up. So cool. Hadn't seen him in a long time. And remember Michael was in there with him at one time. He was on
his son, Michael Lorber.
Mm-hmm. And he was wanting Fredrik to negotiate this deal because it was for a friend of his. And he was saying, she will not negotiate. And he said, you get her to negotiate. It was just really, it was interesting how he was handling that.
Yeah, I think he wanted some airtime.
I don't know, but would you have handled it the same way?
Yeah, you have to. And Howard knew that.
You think?
Yeah. I think that was a big ploy.
Yeah, I guess so. But what was funny is at the end, she took it. She took 11.6 or whatever, and she said, I'm not going to negotiate. I'm not.
Which I thought that was all a big ploy because, okay, then she drops it $300,000.
Yeah, I know.
Come
That's
on.
what I couldn't understand either, but I guess she realized at that time that...
I hope all that wasn't faked. I hope that it was just weird people doing deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what were they asking at the beginning? 11,995, so that's almost $12 million. And he said it wasn't worth that. And then they ended up getting, 11.6, which is pretty darn good.
What I thought was really neat was when Fredrik called the other guys and said, the deal's dead. Goodbye, that's it.
Oh, yeah. He said you couldn't negotiate and all that.
And then they came up to 11.6. Which I thought was another good strategy. But he looked dejected, man. Fredrik was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
You could see it in his eyes.
I know it. But it did work out, so he ended up,
Yeah, making $350,000.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, Ryan, golly, he just flipped that property in Prospect Park South and made so much money.
He did.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy that way, sometimes it's not, though.
He was going to do an open house with all this crap. He was going to do a scavenger hunt. He was going to do all that mess.
Yeah.
Because
he didn't have to do it.
He comes up with creative ways to highlight the negatives. If it's a house that's in bad shape, he's going to make fun of it, and highlight it. And man, I bet he was glad he didn't have to do that.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, just somebody walking in and buying it, full price, cash, all that. I was like, gee, Maniti, that's a godsend. You just have people walk in and do that.
Yeah.
And it does happen that way sometimes. And then sometimes you have a really hard time selling them. So it's interesting, though, watching these guys maneuver and how they think and how they negotiate.
Yeah.
You learn a lot from the way they negotiate.
Well, it was a good first episode.
It was.
I'm excited to be back.
Me too.
These guys are really cool. I like Steve. And we'll see how he grows. There's a lot of pressure on him to do well in that spot.
Ryan needs to tell us what Emilia's sister's doing. If she's going to work in real estate, if she's looking at, whatever she's looking at. It'd be interesting to see what she's doing and how long she'll be living with them, Mm-hmm. Do you ever hear anything from Luis?
No, he's just in Paris, not working.
He's not working?
No, he's not working.
Oh, fuck.
But I'm
What's he
sure he's
gonna
got
do?
income from...
Well, I guess he must have made a lot.
He's got some passive income from properties, probably. He's doing something with a development company, so he's probably...
I wonder if he's still writing that book.
He is.
He is? Mm-hmm. He was going to write his book and sell it.
Yeah.
I think that would be...
the politics behind the show... Excuse me, go ahead.
No, I'm fine.
The politics behind the show of Steve coming on there, taking his spot, there's got to be a lot of pressure on him.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Wonder how he felt when he watched it. He knows all the background. He knows how it works.
I know.
He knows, this was set up or this was not set up. Or it'd be kind of interesting to have been sitting with him when he saw that episode, wouldn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what worked in his favor was the response I saw on social media was positive. They said, "Oh, we like Steve. It's comparable to Luis."
Oh, good.
When Dave and James and David came on L.A.,
right.
Boy, they had some backlash because people thought they were replacing Madison.
Yeah, they did.
And so it could have gone that way, although they're liked now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Could have gone that way.
And they're doing the same thing. They're going up in, prices, and they've established themselves, and now they're pretty demanding, too.
I feel like this show elevates them as agents in town, big time.
Oh, I would think so.
I think their business has grown tremendously just because of the name recognition.
Well, yeah, because they built teams. You can see that they're having to have a team help them now while they're doing their...
Isn't that
I would think while they're being followed around with cameras.
What a great opportunity.
Yeah, and that neat. That's why I said I can't believe Luis turned that down.
But if he wasn't enjoying it, you got to go what you're passionate about.
I guess so, but
follow your dreams.
I don't know.
I know
that was just such an opportunity. It would be hard to get that back again.
I know it. I think it's all circumstantial. However, it's still, I don't care if you're not enjoying it. You're still a lunatic to just drop all that.
Well, unless they said, if you ever want to come back, the door's open.
Unless they said that.
To put a fourth one in there, which could be like L.A. because you got James,
true.
David, and the two Joshes. That's 4.
That is true.
So he could come back in as a fourth one in a couple of years.
Well, he came in on the little season teaser at the end, and they showed him, and I thought, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that was neat. He and Fredrik became friends, didn't they?
Oh, I think they all are. I think it used to, on camera they used to not like each other, whatever, maybe so. But I think when you go through that experience together, I think you have to.
Oh, I would think so, too. I would think so. But it was nice. I saw Fredrik was going up to Connecticut every weekend,
what a nice
which
place,
is nice.
yeah.
When at the end of last season, they showed us that house they bought. Oh, my gosh, that thing is beautiful.
Would you have liked to move into that house?
Oh, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that was my style. That was it. See, that's different from living in New York. That's like living in a home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was done just like we would want it, marble countertops. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I would have moved in that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They got a little dock out there, and it looked like a little lake, and, I mean, it just looked... That looks like it would be nice for him to get away from that city. Mm-hmm. He's right.
I agree.
And I think that's a cool thing for him. And then he said, I'm going to church.
Yeah.
Showed him in that little church up there, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think he's ready to slow it down.
Yeah, it's a whole different, atmosphere.
Well, he made his money. He's got his business established.
I was
He
excited.
can just live off.
He's living off. He's got his place in Sweden, too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got that, so...
Now, Ryan's got one in New York. He's got one in L.A., and he's got one somewhere else.
Yeah, he's got a few in New York now, Brooklyn.
Oh, that's right. He's got different areas now. That's right.
It's amazing.
Anyway, interesting to see him
They
grow
have established great
and what they've
businesses.
done. And, yeah, it's fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
No, it was just fun watching them all. Learning Steve.
Yep.
Getting to know him.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how he interacts with them.
I agree.
If they ever run into having the same listings, I want to see how they go head to head, which will be interesting because they have different styles.
Yep.
And, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
We'll see you back next Friday, the 30th.
Second? No, it'll be the second.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be the second.
Okay.
Yeah, of June.
All
Wow.
right. Follow us at McKinnon Maddox on Twitter. Links will be in the description. There's about 45,000 people over there.
Wow.
And we got, we're getting a lot of viewers on these shows, 15, 20,000 people on our other ones. So it's been good. We've got a nice little group here that we all talk to and discuss the shows and watch every week. So go and join us at the Mac Media Show, or no longer at the Mac Media Show, themacmediashow.com, where you'll find all of our episodes, and follow us on Twitter at McKinnon Maddox. But until next week, this has been Mac.
And Ray.
Remember, we are the two that review for you. Keep it all biz.